Nestor Cabal is Roman Compte's older brother. He's from Cuba, and after Bay of Pigs and a very traumatic escape, he ended up in Miami. And in order to thrive and survive, he had to start a very questionable business, right? But is a man of a big contradiction, because on the one hand he's doing something that is evil, like in the eyes of everybody, but if you hear him talk and the way he behaves, you see that he's a man of family, of honor, of preserving good values and traditional values, in the sense of family again, in the sense of yeah, I would say that is Nestor Cabal.
Let me introduce Marisol to you. Technically, my sister-in-law.
That's right.
And I think the moral compass of the Compte home and of Roman as well, I think the way he carries himself in the club, you know, is influenced by her standards and her I don't want to say moral standards. I want to say she sets a high bar for a human. She's super intelligent, educated, and has been sort of shepherding his young daughter. Not sort of, has been shepherding his young daughter in a very excellent way, and really setting an example in their house. And in my off-camera conversations with my brother, I know that this is the most important person in his life.
She's amazing. I'd love to meet her.
Yeah. She's right here next to me.
I found out after a couple episodes, because you keep discovering the characters the more you read about them, right? You have an idea, but you don't really know. What I found out is that you see Roman that is surrounded by all these beautiful women at the mutiny, surrounded by all this sexiness. However, I think for Marisol, the only person who she's jealous of is Nestor. Because as soon as he arrives in our lives, he kind of takes away the attention of his goddaughter, so Valeria, who is, I think, for me, the character that Marisol cares and loves the most. He's a rival in my life, or in Marisol's life. He's a testament of how she's not related to her, how she's not really a part of this family with him arriving in this family.
A reminder, I guess.
A reminder, there you go.
Right.
But we also, I think she's quite afraid of him, so she doesn't express much this. She doesn't want to overstep her boundaries and overstep in a universe that she doesn't belong into, but yeah.
You know, my brother likes her, so I like her, you know what I mean? But I am who I am, and she is who she is, but we seem to work it out, you know? Put it this way, Nestor, I would never allow anything to happen to her. Zero. I'd take their heads off if anything was going to happen to her. So.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, both the wardrobe, the hair, the makeup, the environment, it can either ruin you, what Danny said, no? It could, there's a fine line between like a dress up or it can really add up to your character. And I think all these elements really added up, especially, at least in my case, I'm very different from how Marisol presents herself in the world. So that really puts me in a different mindset. Because the set is a difficult place to be in, because there's so many people, there's so much noise, everybody's doing their own job, and they don't necessarily, the sound guy's doing their thing, the cameraman or whatever. So you really need to stay as an actor in your own little universe and know when to turn it on and off. Because you can't be all day on, absolutely. So those elements really help you get into that universe, especially if it's different from myself. That really helps so much.
Yeah, the clothing, I think any person, any human that puts on a particular piece of clothing, you know, it would inform their body. You know, if you put a gown on, you automatically, your stance, I think, your gestalt changes, you know. So I agree. I like to work with everything that's happening in the room at the same time, like, because to me that's just most exciting for me. Everything, it's whatever's on the table, whatever's happening, is all part of the thing for me. Even though we're in 1978 and the people behind the camera are in 2024, it's all, you know, it's all part of, I know it's a weird thing to say, it's all part of the same fabric for me, because that, to me, that's how I can keep myself alive, you know? Because if not, I would just fall asleep. I'm just kidding. Terrible. Horrible. Terrible. And I have fallen asleep on set many times, and they wake numb.
No, he's a total pro. Everybody loves him. I would think that apart from obviously being entertained and enjoying watching the visuals of it, I think the big lesson that I would want people to remember is that everything has a consequence. If you're having too much fun, somebody on the other side might not be enjoying it so much. And that can apply to anything. We can make it as simple as, oh, it's drugs. It's so obvious. But you can apply it to clothes industry, with the meat industry. You can apply it to anything. That's maybe a bit too deep, but I think ultimately that's what we're talking about. If you're having too much fun, somebody else is not having that much fun.
I think everything has a price. Good things, bad things. There's a price to pay for everything.
Yeah.